Welcome to the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
You gonna take it? Oh, what are you looking at me for? Am I running the show?
Wow.
Hi, how are you? I'm running the show.
Welcome everyone to the Pool Nation
Blue
Live
17
podcast. There we go. We were throwing Brad under the bus right at the beginning.
Nice.
So welcome everyone to the Pool Nation Live podcast. I am your host Edgar De Jesus, and yes, I am the reigning champion of Marco Polo, along with our boy John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, the famous Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas, and yes, we are in studio today with the Cannonball King himself,
Hey, yo.
Spider.
Oh, man. There we go.
Oh,
I want to say thank you, guys. I walked in here empty-handed today, and now I have a studio full of food and drinks for the rest of my day.
Nice. Big shout out to you, Spider, out there. Want to welcome everyone to our live podcast, the podcast where it's all pool talk, and we ain't talking about netting and jetting and splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. And yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started today, we want to thank our visionary partners for this podcast, Ultimate Pool Tools, SPPA, Blu-ray XL, Aquastar, Natural Chemistry, our friends Raypak. Come on. Yeah. Heritage Pool Supply, and Hayward Pool Products. And we want to thank them for their continued support. Mr. Zacharias, how you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling fresh.
You feeling fresh?
I got a great night of sleep. I don't know what happened last night, but I slept like a rock. I did that whole thing where you wake up and half your face is like red and you can see the imprints of the sheet in it. We went and had a great workout this morning, so I'm feeling ready to go.
I keep telling you not to say that because Leslie listens to the podcast, and then you get in trouble because she's at home with the kids and the baby, and he comes over, oh, they treat me like a king, and I sleep all night. I'm like, dude, like, tell her that you can't sleep away from home, that you miss her, that so you don't get in trouble.
Hey, I got to work on that.
So, Leslie, if you're listening, he really didn't have a good night's sleep. He's just kind of saying that out there, so... Anyways, hey, big shout out to Michael from First Response Pools is online. So is Todd. They're actually both going to the Raypak boot camp out there.
Sweet.
Yes.
Awesome.
So excited to have them out there. So today we are talking to Raypak, the entire training team. Look at this. This is kind of awesome to have you guys all here. We have Brad, Dave, Ken, and we have TJ all the way out from Florida. TJ, good morning. How you doing?
Very good. How you doing today?
Can't complain. I got the whole Raypak crew in the studio.
How'd you pull that off?
I don't know, but I'm a little bit worried because they're a little bit quiet this morning, Zach, or is it just me?
They're just waiting to go.
They're just waiting to go? Because yesterday they wouldn't shut up. And then this morning, they're all looking at me, TJ, like, you should see this. They're looking at me with, like, puppy eyes, like...
Yes.
I'm watching it, but it's a little like an execution line. It's going to be okay, brothers. Stay of execution. You're going to be fine.
Like a
We were
blindfold and
joking.
a cigarette, please.
Tombstone Pizza Pier.
You know the face that they have, TJ? They have the face like if HR is waiting for them outside the room as soon as the podcast is over. That's the look that they have. You know what? Everybody. Go ahead, TJ. I'm sorry.
No, I know that look. I'm usually outside the HR office, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
I just took a picture of it to post it because they just have that scared face on there. So, Dave,
You tag it to.
Good morning.
how are you?
I'm excellent. And you?
I can't complain. I got pulled over by the cops this morning, and I can't complain.
I did not.
Ooh.
You did not.
I actually beat them here, and I left after they did.
Is that a true story?
Dave is like,
Trailer.
And I was pulling a trailer.
He was pulling a trailer.
And you, what did you do? Outrun the cops?
I took the express.
Uh-huh.
They stayed in the frontage road.
Oh, and they stayed down. Gotcha. Gotcha.
He
So
knows
you-
his way around
so
Dallas.
you
We don't know what we're doing here.
you outsmarted them. at their own game.
I'm the lay of the land.
There you go. There
I
you
made the mistake of following AI.
Ken, good morning. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
How you feeling today?
Fantastic.
Fantastic?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Looking forward to this.
Yeah?
Should be a fun day.
It'll be a great day. And Akshaya wasn't supposed to be on camera today, and
I know.
we Zach
They
came
begged me to be on, so here we are.
Zach came over and Zach's all like, Akshaya needs to be on, put her on. I'm like, oh,
Well, look, Spider decked it all out. We got mics and seats and
we're all
full
set,
table
right?
now. Yeah.
Yeah, we got that.
Backdrops.
We got it all, right? I'm just hoping that they break out of this because they just seem kind of a little
Hey, man,
nervous.
we'll get rolling.
We'll get rolling.
We're just doing the introductions here.
We're just doing the intros.
Well, I keep checking my watch. Are we almost done? Can we go?
I think the word you're looking for is sullen.
Sullen.
So, Brad, good morning.
Hey, man.
How you doing?
I am great. I couldn't be better.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
So, quick question,
All right.
and I want you to be honest.
Good luck with that.
Okay.
Go on.
So the first time we met, I remember him on the. Remember, Akshaya, he was on the thing, and on the Zoom, and he's kind of like sitting there, like, who's this clown that we're talking to? What are they making me do now? Next thing you know, how many trips have you done out here now? This is your second or your
It
third
was
trip?
my second time here in this room,
Uh-huh.
and then we were doing filming some other stuff, and so there's been I think 3 of those.
Mhm.
I'd lose track.
So-
I'm out here. I'm it's like, oh, we're
Become
going to
like
Dallas again? Okay,
But the question is, are you at least now when you go, hey, you're going to Dallas, do you get excited, or do we fall on the same list of, oh, here we go again?
Well, we know we're gonna go to Norma's, and then we're gonna go to Sun Moon. So we're like, if no content happens,
Yeah.
we'll at least have a good time with Edgar.
You guys are the low end of the visit at this point. I think, well, yeah, this is great, but then we have to go hang out with the Pool Nation dudes. And
That's
no, look, man. I mean, you're not wrong. When they first came on board, hey, we're gonna partner with Pool Nation, and what are you talking about? Who? What are we doing? You want me to? Okay, now I got to go to. Okay, yeah, because I didn't have enough to do. Now I got to go to Dallas. So no, you have become elevated in my estimation.
Yes.
All right. Now that I know what's going on, because I was not front loaded with a whole lot of information. They were just like, and here you go. What? All right. What? Who?
You are the face. Brad.
Now I get it. Now I understand what we're doing, and I have a great deal of appreciation and estimation for what it is that Pool Nation is accomplishing and what we're looking to do. Because I've always, look, I've 30 years in this business, and there's always that, the pool guy, like
Mhm.
that was some guy who came in and swept the driveway and left, and it always kind of bothered me that that person wasn't held in with a little more respect,
Mhm.
because you got somebody in your backyard working on your swimming pool, taking care of the water that you're going to immerse your children in. Do you really need to not think that individual is a professional? And I see what you folks do here as an elevation of the industry. It is an elevation of the individuals in the industry to the point where we should be. This is a profession. We're not out here, sometimes I ask people in my class, I'm like, how many of you are, in the swimming pool industry because you just needed a hobby, you don't have anything better to do? And I get, nobody, because of course, no, this is how we make our living. This
Right.
is how we keep roofs over our head. So it's a profession. And, we need to see ourselves that way. And I understand that you folks do that. And that's what we're trying to do here. And God bless you.
Thank you. And we appreciate your partnership. I mean, we just, every time that we do something and we get to reach out to Raypak and we get, we know that Brad's coming, it's just a weight off of our shoulders, right? Because we know it's going to be gold, right? It's going to be entertaining. That's for sure.
Always.
Always, right?
Always.
In a few minutes, I'm going to sing some show tunes for you. And then Ken's going to tap dance on the table. It's going to be great. Stay tuned.
Just
Please start off with something from Cats.
So anyway, so we love working with you guys. We appreciate your support and your dedication, and you guys have leveled up all your training, and we're definitely going to talk about that today. So, hey, really quick, Adam Gunton,
Yeah, sure.
Gunner.
My old buddy Adam Gunton.
Adam Gunner. TJ is on no way. Sexy too sexy is what they're saying over here. TJ.
Gracias, Adam.
Shout out to Pool Nation and Raypak. I love it when these guys get together. Things happen. I think that's all Brad, right? We're just all along for the show.
I'm not taking the blame for that.
So Jeanette, big shout out to you. Justin, big shout out to you out there as well. So anyways, before we get started, guys, there's a couple housekeeping notes that we need to get out of the way. And the very first one is that May 17th out in Oxnard, California at Raypak's headquarters, we're going to be doing a 201 series heater class. And so it's going to be all hands on. But the beauty of this one is they're live heaters, right? And rumors is, Brad, that you have something up your sleeve with this training classes. So here's what I love about your training classes, by the way, all of Raypak. We gave Brad 2 hours, and he tore those heaters completely apart. We gave him 2.5 hours, right? And I walked into that room, and I go, what the heck did this guy do? There was a frame left, and everything else was outside of those heaters. And he was like, 2.5 hours? That's perfect. And now we're giving him 3 hours. And last night, or yesterday, he was talking about something that he has up his sleeves. You want to talk about that? Because I think this is like next level stuff.
Well, if you say so, man. I was going to be a big surprise, but if we need to tell them, listen, we're gonna have some live fire heaters for sure. We're gonna have those as well, but we're gonna have some that we're gonna tear down so that we don't have to worry about whatever safety issues with heaters that have been taken apart and put back together several times. So there's that, and once we've done that, we'll push that out of the way, and then we'll flip on the live fires. And maybe they won't work quite right. Maybe, oh goodness, whatever could have possibly happened to this heater, I can't imagine why it won't fire up. Yes, TJ, you're right. Oh, woe is me. Whatever could have happened, how embarrassing. Gosh, if only there were a heater technician around who could look at these things and figure out what might be wrong.
I invited TJ, don't worry.
And it's a good thing. So no, golly, I don't know. Maybe one of you people who showed up here, maybe one of you could figure it out. So you're gonna have to take a look. You'll have to. Hey, if we have to point, we'll point. But look, guys, I don't like to get my hands dirty. I just have my nails done. I'm not turning screws and wrenches. That's kind of craziness is that. You're gonna have to do that. I don't need to be involved with that. So yeah, there's gonna have to be some troubleshooting involved. This is not a basic class.
That is absolutely amazing. I mean, we talk about it, and Akshay and I were talking about it yesterday. I think you kind of get onto the pad, and I think the two big monsters that people are afraid of is one, the automation, and then the heaters, right? And I think with the classes and the way that you guys do your classes, doing the presentation at the beginning, going through everything, and then getting people to be able to tear down those heaters and take out those blowers and stuff like that, it really takes the fear out of it, because you just kind of it's different when you have a heater and you go and you work your way through changing a temp sensor, right? It's very limited. It's very unique to what you're doing. But once you get to take that blower out and you get to see that entire unit, it really almost takes the entire fear out of that beast. And nobody gets that in training. I mean, when we talk about trainings, and it doesn't matter who does the training, it's always been, here's a unit in the middle of the room, here's a PowerPoint presentation, we're going to PowerPoint you to death, and you're all going to look at this one unit. And what you guys have done is completely different, with making sure that everybody's got screwdrivers, that everybody has nut drivers, that you're tearing those things apart and really taking that fear away from the pool pros. And when we talk about education and being able to give the right tools for the pool pros to be able to financially be successful, and you know this, Brad, you know this, Ken, right? You can be successful and you can run a service business, but once you're able to start doing repairs and doing all that kind of stuff, your business goes to a whole different level, especially financially.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of people maybe newer to the industry don't appreciate that this is available to them because, people that have been in for a while understand the being PowerPointed to death. And I don't know how many endless hours for me it was tech support. That was my lifeline, and being on hold forever, and time is money, and sitting there and just literally getting walked through the whole thing step by step. And then over and over, you slowly start to pick up, okay, this is what's going on. Okay, this is what's going on. But being able to get in, get your hands on some tools, tear it apart, and be very hands-on, that's going to fast track that whole process so that then you're equipped to be able to go out and take care of that the first time. So
Well, today's modern tools have changed as well, right? We're into manometers, we're into combustion analyzers, we're into carbon monoxide meters. So the tools of today have completely changed.
That's a great point.
yeah.
That's a totally great point. So anyway, so this boot camp that we're doing in Oxnard is a 201, right? A lot of people have been able to go to the other boot camps, take those 101. This is a 201 with live heaters, but it is still a very safe environment for pool pros to come out and take the class, right?
Oh, absolutely. And we try to make it as comfortable as we can. And the hot room that we're going to be in is a state of the art facility. We can fire up to 5 devices right there in the room. We've got the gas coming in. We've got ventilation happening. It's built for that purpose.
Got water?
And we have water. It's a good thing we have water. Good point, Dave. Thanks for it.
Go ahead.
Turns out, let me say for sure, we definitely
Safety Dave.
What was I forgetting? What was that? Oh, yeah.
Business.
Why are we here again?
So yeah, no, it's a beautiful facility. We do have a classroom facility too, and there at this point because there's going to be a chemistry component, and so that will take place in our classroom facility, and really nice place and great people, and so there is that. But we'll pull you back into the back room that's a little more real, where we can actually light some stuff off, and go through some of that stuff. And I'm still kind of thinking about. Are we going to also tear some stuff down? I'll decide how deep we need to go, because I want to spend more time on troubleshooting than tearing down, because we did the tear down.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be some of it. I'm convinced there'll be an element, but it's all about timing, and I want to get a lot of good, juicy stuff in there.
I get giddy like a little kid in a candy store. So if I, that's giving you 3 hours. If I give you 3.5 hours, will you take out the heat exchangers?
No. Well, I'm not. Give me 3.5 hours. I'll take everybody out to lunch. Is what I'll do. Like, well, we're done here. There's a Burger King down the street. Let's go. No, I'm not. You're pushing me toward the heat exchanger, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the big secret. Now I have to kill you.
Here's the thing. Think about it, Brad. So go back down memory lane to when you were a pool guy and you were just starting. You didn't have anybody over your shoulder telling you how to do that. And I remember with the old heaters, and I remember, and I won't say the name of his competitor, but back then the lids wouldn't flip, right? And so I had to literally, flip that bad boy. I didn't know how to do it. I had to call somebody to come over and save me and give me a lifeline. And the customer was home, and there was the panic, and there's all that kind of, stuff. So I always go back and look at those situations that I was in, and I'm like, could we put a brand new pool guy or somebody that has some experience taking these 201s to be able to, have that experience so that doesn't happen to them. So when you guys do these and tear these down like that, I get giddy like the little kid in the candy store.
Yeah. Look, I flipped a lot of heat exchangers in my day. We pick them up and turn around and set them back down.
Yeah.
And it seems so simple after but at the time, like, how do I even get to that thing?
Yeah.
Well, there's very little of that left, but there's a lot going on with the smaller heaters. The heater's much smaller now. That's the future. Okay, great. Once you get in one, you start to see, well, I don't have to flip it anymore. I can just flip the lid or whatever's going on. But there's still things to know. And so what's going on in there? How are we making water hot? And once you get your head around, look, I just made some racket. I'm sorry about that. Once you get your head around what's going on in there, it becomes almost universal.
Yeah.
And that's the point you need to get to, where you can just say, all right, look, it's just a heater. It's just a heater.
Yeah. And like you said, the smaller ones are a lot more, simple nowadays, but there's there's that fear. You walk into the backyard, and it always reminds me of a kid's movie, right? Like you see the automation opening the mouth and talking to the guys, and they're afraid, like, right? Like, oh, and then once you kind of get into the automation, it's like, oh, this is actually a lot easier than, and the heaters are the exact same thing. And to me, it was the aha moment when I had to change a blower. And I thought it was a lot more complicated. And I'm like, I'm going to try it anyway. And I did it. And I was like, oh, crap, this was a lot easier than I
Why didn't
thought.
I do this
I'm like,
sooner?
yeah. I'm like, why? You know, so you guys doing all those hands-on, I think it's exactly what the industry needs out there. So everybody listening, I think we have a couple spots left. If you want to go, it's May 17th in Oxnard. Go to poolnation.com. You can register to attend the classes. And then will all three of you be there?
I'm going.
I'm going.
Ken's going to be there.
You gonna be there,
coming
Dave?
in?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Dave might be
Let's
there,
make some
might
calls. TJ, you going?
There's a very good chance.
There's a very good chance.
News at 11.
News at 11. There you go. So anyway, everybody come on out, register. Lunch is included. I did get a call from Justin over at Raypak last night and let us know that they're putting together a networking event the night before, which is super cool. So more details are coming, and that's included in the registration as well. So when we talk about all these events, the number two thing that we always talk about is the networking event out of it, right? Is being able to connect with other pool pros and connect with them and get their numbers and be able to, hey, I need a lifeline, right? Pick up the phone and call. So anyways, everybody get out there, register for the boot camp at Raypak, and I'm looking forward to it. I've never been to Raypak.
Well, that's right. You haven't come out to see us.
And there's also rumors that we might everybody that registers might get a tour of the plant based on some of the things that are going on. So
If I don't hold them in the hot room for too long, yeah. I know you want to see the factory, but let me just show you this one more screw. That one right down there. Let's all take that one out, Joey.
Don't they have to properly put the heater back together before they get the
Oh, no,
tour?
no question about it. Like, it's not none of this. Well, the heater's in 1,000 pieces. Take care so long. No. You're putting that stuff back together. I'm not.
The tour, the tour, that's how they get lunch. They can only get lunch if they put everything back together the way.
yeah, there you go, TJ. They can only get lunch and leave if they put it back together and it's working.
You want to eat? Put the heater back together.
You can't leave it in pieces in the backyard.
Nope, you don't get to eat and you don't get to leave either. When was the last time that you saw Zach? 3 years ago at Raypak. We haven't seen him since.
He dropped a couple screws.
He's sleeping in the hot room.
Lost a washer.
His heater still won't fire up. They're working on that.
Wherever you're talking about saying that there's nothing to be afraid of for the product, but man, we're really setting the precedent now.
So, anyways, other thing that we have going on is the women's conference, which will be the 28th, the 29th and 30th of August. We'll talk about that later on. And we also have the Pool Nation conference, which will be November 9th, 10th, and 11th. We'll kind of talk about that as well at some of the other podcasts as we get closer. Our friend John is out today. He is actually sick. He called me this morning, and he was just super congested. It sounded like he had a pin on his nose. Poor guy. He's been sick now twice within, 3 weeks?
Yeah, and if John gets sick, you know it's bad.
You know it's bad, right? So, anyways, so let's jump in. Ken, can you
Yes,
tell
sir.
us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, I'm Ken. Oh,
Just Ken.
just Ken. I've been in the business now just about 40 years. It's been a wild ride. I fell into this industry by accident, kind of like a lot of people, and it's been an interesting ride. So I was a licensed pool contractor at one point. I started my career at Leslie's, like a lot of people seem to do. Worked my way out into the field, and coincidentally, my first heater I ever installed was a Raypak. So
Nice.
here at the end of my career, I find myself back with the heater I loved from the beginning.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle. Now, what you were at Leslie's, and then did you buy a route? How did you get out into the field?
So I bought a business out from a gentleman that actually started in the business back in the 40s when they didn't even have filters.
Wow.
So learning from him was quite a treat. It was Ben Beeler. He was the creator of Little Algae at the Western Pool and Spa Show in Long
very
Beach.
cool.
So got a great education from him on how not to do things, because we started with remodeling and seeing the pools that were built wrong, we knew how to fix them. So it was a great career. But like you, when you're working on heaters, I had nobody. It was a tech service line that you had to call, right? And you're on the other line, and nobody had cameras, and nobody had phones, and you're trying to call from a lot, and you're using the homeowner's phone, and the heater's in the backyard. So it's been a wild ride, but my passion is for teaching and training, and the newer generation coming in, I can't tell you, they need it. And it's not because they don't know, it's because they don't know.
Right.
So we want to be able to create that. So that is a passion of mine, and we're looking forward to some of the teardown. And I've got Brad over here to my left that has been a great mentor at Raypak. So
Now let me ask you one. Let me ask you one quick question. So, you talk about, being that far back into the industry. So that was one generation, and we're kind of seeing a generational change, right? We're seeing a lot of the kids kind of starting to take over. Do you see that younger generation a lot more hungry for education and for looking at themselves like Brad was saying as a profession?
like any industry, I think that kids today or the people entering the industry today, there's those that are going to separate themselves from the masses, right? The masses are, I'm too busy, I don't have enough time to learn, I don't want to spend any time, and I don't see the benefit in it. But then they get in the backyard and they find out, well, I do need some training, but that's the tech service line. And then there's the complaints, and we have to stay on hold and everything else. So you're always going to find those people that want to rise above the rest of them. And those are the ones that will put themselves in the position to be the specialist, to be able to charge more, to be able to make more profit in their business. So, yes.
That's awesome.
I can't shake this image of having to use a landline with tech support. What's your voltage right now? Hold on, let me go get that real quick.
I'll be back in 2 minutes. Hold on.
We would drive for the payphone, drop that dime, you make that call, come back 50 minutes later, go, okay, what's next?
Now, I thought I had it terrifying, but that's really terrifying if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because you had nobody, at least when I was doing polls, I had a cell phone and I could just try to call somebody.
Yeah, there were no cell phones.
That's scary.
And really, there was hardly a tech service. The manufacturers didn't have tech service reps.
Mm-hmm.
You had the call centers, and the call centers were as good as the call centers was. These days of the evolution, most companies realize we need tech service support on top of the sales support. So today, I think people have a little bit of more of an advantage to be able to teach and train and learn, but you've got to have the willingness to want to attend those classes.
Yeah, and that's definitely a key thing.
So what about you, Dave? Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I was raised in the Midwest, and that's why I cover the Midwest. I've been in the business over 40 years. I'm pretty mechanically inclined. I enjoy working with my hands. That's kind of what got me into this side of the business. When I got into the business, this swimming pools are treated as kind of a joke, not really serious. People don't realize that you're working with chlorine, working with natural gas. So I stress safety a lot of my courses, especially with carbon monoxide. Yes. So that's one of the things I really stress. It doesn't get me a whole lot of fans in the classroom, but something that people need to be aware of. I enjoy working with my hands and talking to people, and I've installed Lars and Raypak heaters for over 40 years. And I had an advantage over you, Ken. I knew all the reps. I could call them. And I tell people now, when I give them my card, you can call me on the weekend, because I know they're in the backyard, tech service is closed. They don't want to chat with me. They want to help, and that's what I deliver. So
that's awesome.
I have a pretty loyal following.
Now, where do you live?
I live in Arlington. I live 2.2 miles west of AT&T Stadium.
That's it, baby. Texas, baby.
I've never been there.
You've never been?
No, my wife goes. I don't go.
You don't go? Are you not a Dallas Cowboy fan?
I'm not a sports fan.
You're not a sports fan?
No, I'm kind of a wet blanket in that regard.
So, it's funny, Dave, because I was out at the Western and we were doing a strategic branding class, and one of the things that I was talking about is how the Dallas Cowboys do certain things. It was so funny. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't bring that up again, because everybody in the room was like, boo! But we're proud of the Cowboys, right? Because we're from Texas.
I think my wife's very proud of them.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got the mayor of Dallas trying to bring the Kansas City Chiefs here, so we'll have Cowboys and Indians.
That's good.
Didn't think about that, but that's true. So
I'm with you, Dave. I'm not a big sports person either. So
Zach is not a sports person at all. So
well, the MotoGP is this weekend in Austin.
I heard.
I'm not going.
Me neither.
So, TJ, all the way out in Florida, tell us a little bit
All
about
the way out in
yourself.
Florida?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's nice and sunny finally. We had a couple of interesting days as far as weather, but we're looking really good now.
Yeah. So, how did you get roped into Raypak?
He was born.
He was born
So-
into Raypak.
Almost. I am actually a second generation. My dad's Tom Redmond Sr. So I've been an industry brat since about 76. Started actually working in the industry. So while underneath Dad, he would always bring stuff home to the pool, and I'd learn how to do stuff under his wing, and then started working in distribution about junior year of high school, and then by the time I was 18, I was running my own store. So worked there for a little bit. Almost got out of the industry for a year, 364 days, and then it pulled me back in.
So close.
And then
Black hole.
you're welcome. You're welcome. So went to work for Raypak, what I thought was on my way out the door again from the industry in 2002, and been with them ever since. So going to be 22 years. Yeah, do that. Yeah. So going to be. Been a wonderful wild ride. Love this company, and this new position that we have is the happiest I've been.
So, what do they have you? What's your position out in Florida?
So same position as these lovely gentlemen next to you. We're regional service and training managers, and it's for as much fun as I've had with Raypak since the beginning. This particular position provides a lot of
Travel.
fulfillment. a lot of fulfillment. It's great to exactly what we've been talking about. It's what breeds confidence, knowledge. And we're talking about not just saving their rear end when they're in the backyard, but it's also when it comes time for them talking to the homeowner as far as actually selling them a new one. If they've actually had their hands inside our product and know how to work it, they know that they're going to be able to get themselves out of a jam if something were to go wrong. That breeds confidence. That makes it a lot easier for them on the sales side as well.
Awesome. Brad, I know you've been on the podcast before, but maybe for the new listeners, you can tell them a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, I'll try to give you the abbreviated version. I got in the industry because I needed a job and I owned a pickup truck. That's it. And that's all you needed. But, TJ, dry your tears, buddy. Play the violin.
That's a beautiful story.
I know. Just wanted to say it's been a long and arduous journey. No, I had a pickup truck. I didn't know anything about swimming pools. I knew a guy who knew a guy whose brother owned a swimming pool company. And I'm like, great, let's go. Let's do it. And he literally took me down to a distributor and put like $200 worth of gear in the back of my truck. And then I think he rode around with me and showed me a couple things. And then I rode with a couple of his guys for a couple of days. And then, okay, you're off. You're on your own. Here you go. Make sure you go to these places today. And I remember having 5 pools. And I thought, and it took me 12 hours to do it. Every pool I was there for 2 hours trying to figure out, how does this hose go in the water? How does that? Oh, wait, I remember that guy showed me this. I was just thrown in the deep end, no pun intended, and, worked it out as I went along. A lot of phone calls, a lot of head scratching, a lot of just finding out as you go. Oh, that's not so hard. Oh, this is actually pretty simple, this part here. And it all came together in pieces. But it was literally just from a matter of just unemployment. That's how I got into the industry. I needed a job.
No formal training.
No. I had no training at that point. And as I went along, and I've told the story before, and once again, shout out to Jerry Graves out there in Austin, who was the repair guy for the guy that I was working for. And every time I would call him up and say, I would call up the guy that owned the company and say, I don't know, there's some water. Something must be leaking. I don't know. Oh, I'm going to send Jerry out. Yeah, the customer says the heater won't come. Oh, okay, I'll send Jerry out. Well, who's this Jerry guy, and why is he taking money out of my pocket? And I started, telling the guy, look, can I come and watch you? Mm-hmm. And he showed me a lot of stuff. And I learned a lot of stuff from that. And we ended up kind of helping each other out eventually there, where we would go out and help each other. I would help him with one of his heater installations. He'd help me with one of mine. And we didn't charge each other. It just went back and forth that way. And, I learned a lot of stuff. You hands-on, just learning as you go. And I like the fact that I didn't have somebody leaning on me. If I needed to take a day off, I'd take a day off. I had to work 3 times as hard the rest of the week, but that was my decision. So, all right. I enjoyed the autonomy, I think. And I stuck around. And then one day Raypak, they posted a job, and I looked at it and went, I know this job. I could do that. I've been to that class. I can do that. And I fooled the Raypak into hiring me. They still haven't gotten the joke yet. I was like, you guys are a little slow on the uptake. Like, one day I expect them all to go, oh, we hired that guy. Okay, thanks for that. And then I'll be back in my truck,
You still had that truck, don't you?
I still have my truck.
You still have your truck?
Yeah, I'm still driving it. When we got, my thought, I'd had a truck. I bought my first pickup truck in 1985, and I've had a truck ever since. And when I thought, you know what? I'm not going to be in the service side anymore. I'm going to buy a car. I'm going to drive a car like a real person. So I started looking around, and I'm like, I don't really see anything I like. And then I started thinking about payments. My truck was long paid for. And I forget it. I'm just keeping it. And I did a couple of times. I get it in my head to think about, you could probably swap it out for this one. I like my truck just fine. It's still low miles. It looks good, and I'm still driving it. It's fine. And I got a lot more room in the back of that for my golf clubs than I would in a car.
You look good in it too.
And I look great.
You look good in it.
Fail safe.
I think we need pictures of that to be able to.
All right, fine. I'll send you some shots of the old White Ranger, or as I like to call it, the White Ranger.
So I wonder actually if that's how he did his interview. Like when you went for your interview, did you like turn it on like that, like you normally do, or were you kind of nervous and?
No, I was actually, with the interview, I had to drive up to the factory. I interviewed with 5 people. It took 4 hours. And I remember the guy that
really
was actually
extensive training here.
Yeah.
He's looking at
But the whole time, the best part about it was like, look, I have a job.
Mhm.
I don't need to be nervous about the job. So I was pretty laid back most of the time. When I got the guy that was actually hiring me was the national sales manager at the time. So I just sat in his office and relaxed and we just chatted, and we may have just run along on that. And hey, I guess whatever I did must have worked because he put me on the clock.
Did they make you do like any sort of 5-minute presentation or any of that, or no? They just kind of interview.
I was fully expecting to give some sort of impromptu, like, hey, give us a 3-minute speech on how to tie your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking something like that might occur, or even something, more industry related, because, I knew what I was doing. If they wanted to talk about, frankly, I knew their product. I'm saying their product. It's our product now. But, I went to talk to the head engineer at the time, was part of one of the people I interviewed with. And he said, he finished asking me questions. He said, do you have any questions for me? I said, yes, I do. Because I thought, hey, if I don't get the job, at least I get some straight answers out of this guy. So I started grilling him about some problems that I'd found. Like, why doesn't this fit that? And how come you guys didn't do this? And some of them, he was taken aback a little bit. Like, how do you know that? This is what I do, man. But at no point did they ask me to, give them a demonstration of that. I was prepared and would have done it.
And my next question, Zach, is were you able to turn it on just like you normally do now back then?
Oh, I'm not sure what you mean, man. What are we trying to say? I'm not like this 24/7?
We're like, lights,
yes, you are.
Camera, action, and he just goes. Like, there's no,
No.
He's
right?
always on.
Like,
That's always in life.
Build a taco.
It's like yesterday we said, hey, let's do a little audio test.
Yeah.
Me and Zach would have been testing 1, 2, 3. He's like,
He just does it.
yeah, he just jumped in and, hey, everybody, we're talking about the new Raypak heater and this is the benefits of this, blah, blah, and he just kind of keeps going and going and going. And I'm like, I just needed a test. 1, 2, 1, 2.
I just assumed at some point you'd just say, that's enough. We're done.
It's like this when you go to McDonald's with him as well. When you go to McDonald's and he leans in. Yes, I'd like it.
How's everybody doing? Welcome to McDonald's, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about hamburgers. Here's Jesse sitting behind the counter. Jesse, would you be willing to bring me a Happy Meal? Can we make that happen, buddy?
We make it the adult Happy Meal.
You're one
We're
to
not.
talk, TJ,
Why is that, Dave?
because he's just like him. He's always
He's
on.
like him on. He's always like him.
Oh, moi?
TJ,
No.
See.
TJ has the gift. Yeah.
Cut from the same cloth.
and
And TJ sings too.
TJ
Dear
sings
Diary.
too? Are you a
Me?
karaoke master?
So no, I have a rock band.
Actual rocks.
Actually, yeah, exactly. We get out in the front of the audience. We just toss rocks at them. They pay us. It's fantastic.
Performance art.
So-
It's really big in Central Florida.
So,
When we're offline, I'm going to have to get some of this info. I'm going to have to research that here while we're kind of offline. What's the name of the band?
right now we have a band that's looking for a guitarist. We call it Call Sign. And then we've got another band that does weddings and birthday parties, and you can call us whatever the heck you want. Just make sure we get paid at the end.
Just give me a check.
Man, I'm thinking Pool Nation Awards. We need a band, right?
Yeah.
Like we need to
Dear
take it to the
Diary.
next level.
You guys have to provide the chicken wire though, because when the bottles start flying, you gotta
It's like a
gotta protect the act.
Roadhouse, exactly.
Rawhide.
That's awesome. Hey guys, let's do this. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors. When we come back, I want to do a deep dive into two topics. One is I want to talk about everything that you guys are doing for training, the education that Raypak is doing, because it's next level stuff. And then two, I want to talk about the crosswind. So let's take a word. Let's take a word from our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add recurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double-locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC. The next evolution in lighting is here. Universal Color Logic 2.0 from Hayward. The latest in pool and spa lighting was designed with you in mind, making installation a breeze. Upgrades include a detachable cord and first-of-a-kind adjustable lower catch to overcome variations in plaster thickness. As always, Universal Color Logic lights retrofit into virtually any in-ground pool or spa while delivering industry-leading, vibrant color. Visit Hayward.com to discover more.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live Podcast. We are in studio today, and we have the entire training team from Raypak in-house. Plus, we have TJ all the way from Florida.
Woohoo!
How you doing out there? Are you feeling lonely? Are you feeling lonely out there? Did you kind of
not at all. The voices in my head keep me company all day long.
So I am going to find out how come you weren't here in studio.
So we got the notice was a little bit tight, and we had a family situation that we couldn't overcome.
Gotcha. He's pretty good, right? Because he threw it to the family and said, "We had a family situation." It's not his first rodeo, right? That was smooth. It was quick and just boom, fast,
smooth
and
as glass, man, and perfectly acceptable. Oh, well, that sounds plausible,
right? And it's like, how do you make fun of that or could do a comeback to that?
Yeah, no, because then it's like, well, a family member who's, and I don't know how you can possibly make it.
Luckily, no one's passed.
Yeah.
Yet.
He's like, it was my
Days
kid.
young.
It was my kid. He said, "Don't go," and that was our thing that we had here at home. That couldn't.
Please, Daddy, don't leave.
So anyway, so we are in studio. Let me come here and do a couple comments that came online. So one, somebody said to put a rat inside the heater.
Why?
For the training.
Yeah, just so that it can. Well,
see,
yeah.
TJ's like,
I can neither confirm nor deny.
So, lunch is served.
Lunch is served. Let the rat go to town.
I don't see how a rat could get in the Avia.
Yeah, well, hey, that does bring up an interesting point with the Avia. I'm not going to say rat. I never use the term rat-proof. There's no such thing as rat-proof. A rat with a bad attitude can get himself in just about anywhere he wants to go, but that is not something we've had a lot of problems with.
Do you guys used to remember, and it was a competitor, you guys can't say it, but I can. So you remember the Pentair Minimax?
NT?
Oh, yeah.
Heaters, and how the rats used to get over to the top and eat that air hose right off of the top? Mm-hmm. You guys used to have that problem?
Yes.
To me, it was like most of the time you'd show up and it wasn't working, and that'd be the first thing. I'd take the lid off, and that'd be the first thing that I'd look at because rats always kind of got through that.
Should be thanking that rat.
What's that?
Job security.
Right?
Yeah,
all the money that those friendly rats kind of brought my way.
Temp sensor wires got chewed a lot.
Temp sensors, yep.
But we got good at putting chicken wire around those heaters.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I use decon.
You use decon?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I had a lot of them with the chicken wire.
And you find them in the skimmer.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
They go looking for water.
And then the other problem is when they get into the skimmer and they've been there for a couple of days and that smell gets into your nose and it doesn't go away for like 3 days.
It's the best.
It's the best.
That's the part I miss the most. Oh, those were the days.
Millivolt heaters were worse for rats.
Yeah, because they like that. They
Nice
get
and
that
toasty.
standing pilot to keep them warm
Well, there was a time my beard was as epic as TJ's before I looked at a millivolt heater.
Ah, the old whoosh. Okay.
Smooth shave, super smooth.
I remember those days. So nowadays, most of the heaters are set up so that obviously they address that rat situation.
Yeah, I think
Ours are.
Yeah, when they're designing the cabinet, they want to look at that sort of thing because it's a real problem.
Our cabinet's steel.
Yeah, and we have a
versus
steel
plastic.
cabinet.
Instead of plastic.
Right.
And so what have they done? Have they just made the openings on the side smaller, or what?
Yes.
What have they done? Yeah,
Small louvers.
Small louvers, more of them,
and then less rats.
and less rats.
So far.
We're just it's
Also,
not
the
something
gas
we're seeing.
line.
The what?
Also, we do the gas line. Also, the gas line. We do the gas line right from the factory, as opposed to leaving that gaping hole for it to be brought in. So right from the factory, we do the gas line ahead of time, and it's sealed up with a super thick rubber gasket, so there's no getting through there either.
So the gas line's already protruding from the cabinet. So it had to have a gasket on it, and that way we don't have to worry about whether, did you put that little ring on? Because heaters come with that ring that you put around the nipple when you put it in. You don't even have to buy a nipple; it's already there. You just put your union on it and keep plumbing away. And so we've already got that gasket in place. We don't have to rely on the installer to put that in.
On us great pool guys, how many of those little rings that I throw out kind of going, don't need this?
Or they've got, I used to cut them.
Extra parts. This is an extra part. I don't need that. Get rid of it.
I forgot
Why do they keep putting this in this book?
Why is this?
Why is it here every time? Why?
Why? I don't. Man, their quality control is, they keep throwing the extra little plastic things that fall into the bag.
What's next? The burger wrapper? I mean, enough. Stop it.
Well, the cheap fix for that was steel wool.
Yeah, you stuff them.
Stuff it around the opening.
Gas line.
And the gas line. You know
Rats
what?
don't like it.
I had some of those, and I always questioned myself. I just found out today. I always used to see some of the steel wool, and I'm like, where the hell is this coming from? But that makes sense. So,
Yeah, the rats don't like it.
yeah. Anyways, so let's stop talking about rats. And let's
Let's
talk
do.
about,
What about
let's-
day
It's
rats?
gross.
What about?
What day rats?
What are day rats?
Squirrels.
Oh, day rats. Squirrels are day rats.
So I want to talk a little bit about Raypak. You guys have made some changes lately with regards to the entire team, to kind of the structure at Raypak. You guys have put in millions of dollars into the training side of everything that you're doing, which is music to our ears when we're talking about trying to elevate the pool pros and stuff like that. And it's not something easy to do for a company to have to sit down and put a budget and go, man, right? Like, we got to spend millions of dollars on all this education to help the customers and elevate them. And, I think one of the things that's happening right now is we all know that a lot of the build is slowing down, right? So what happens when a lot of the building slows down and the sales aren't there? A lot of companies kind of go, they start cutting that budget, right? But you guys have done the complete opposite this year. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. And I want to talk about what has made Raypak take that as part of their strategy.
I think it pays off in the long run.
Well, it's
You
up
know.
down from Ream, isn't it?
Well, to some extent, but in the long run, we're looking at the ability to have people know how to put them in and install them correctly the first time, so that they work the way they're supposed to. A great deal of our warranty issues come from improper installation, and it's just a matter of the installer not really having a full grip on exactly what the needs of the device were. And oddly enough, a lot of the things that we teach cross over into other swimming pool heaters. National Fuel Gas Code stuff and National Electric Code stuff that applies to all heaters. And yeah, we're teaching that, but that's not a Raypak thing. That's a code thing. And if we can spend some time, maybe a little bit of money, elevating the knowledge of the people that are putting in that are installing the units, fewer warranty calls, fewer failures, less time on the tech support line, keeping people off the tech support line, because there's every time something goes in right, there's a call that's not on the tech support line. So this stuff sort of adds up, and we can start getting people up to speed on things that they don't have to start. They don't have to keep asking questions because now they know.
Well, and why the building may be going down, at some point, look at all the residential properties that have swimming pools. That's a retrofit market. So the building may be slowing down, but pools that were built 3, 4, 5 years ago, at some point, those heaters are coming into their time.
Older than that, you got some pretty mature markets in the Midwest.
Correct.
Yeah. And, one of the things is, and I don't remember, somebody shared this statistic with me, and it's really interesting with, even with distribution, how much their market is of what they sell is actually aftermarket versus new build. And I don't remember if it was like 70% or something. I mean, the number was definitely huge. So
I wanted to ask, you guys are obviously very passionate about training, and you talked about elevating the industry through training. Can you kind of talk about how you aim to do that through your guys' training programs?
Well, without, trying to not to be too repetitive based on what I was just saying, there's a point at which people have to be able to find out information somewhere. Now, your option is go bash away at it, do what you think. Well, this looks like it goes here, and I'm pretty sure this water pipe goes in there, and, well, those are wires. I bet that's something electrical. And they put it all together, and, everything makes sense if you break it down: water, air, gas, electrical. It's all makes sense, but there's some crossover points, and there's some things that you need that are more specific. It's more specific needs about these particular things. And if you don't know what they are going in, the tendency is to just put it in the best you can and then turn it on. And if it doesn't work, then you go, this heater's no good. Those guys at Raypak don't know how to make anything. Well, I don't know, man. Let's take a minute and talk about that. Well, why didn't this thing fire up? And, if they know up front, then they don't have to, there's not so much of a headache back down the road. Did I answer your question? Because I got to tell you, I quite often hear questions and then I go off on a tangent.
Brad?
What was the question? The question was, what did you want for lunch, Brad? Oh, right. Okay.
40 and several years ago. To Brad's point, I mean, it really is a symbiotic relationship from the standpoint as far as training. So we're training the folks that take our class so that they're more confident and more successful and more efficient as far as repairing items, taking that fear away as far as being in the backyard, being able to get to diagnose what the issue is, and then instead of just trying stuff over and over again, getting right to where the problem is and solving it. Again, to repeat all of ourselves again, that breeds confidence from a standpoint of also as far as selling, because now you're confident as far as, hey, I know if something goes wrong, I'll be able to stick my hands in this thing and be able to take care of it. So as you were talking about elevation of the industry, what Brad was talking about before it was just bash, figure it out. And then if the customer is asking you, hey, is this a good unit? Yeah, it's a great unit. It's going to do fine. It's going to, take the dog for a walk and wash the car. No problem. But when you actually know that, hey, if I put this in, I know a whole lot about the unit now that I've gone through the classes. And if something goes wrong and it's something that slipped past the goalie from a training standpoint, I know that I've got these guys and ladies to back me up in order to make sure that the customer's happy, that we're happy. That builds their name brand within the neighborhood, because now the neighborhood's talking to each other. Hey, Bobby Joe, he knows his stuff and he's installed the Raypak. Have you checked it out? So it's all the way down the line, whether it be helping Raypak out as far as not having as much warranty calls and improving our name brand out there, or whether it's improving the name brand or just the happiness of the clients. And it all starts with everybody knowing what they're talking about, everybody being confident with the product in the backyard. And that's where the training's really going to help out with that.
Yeah. And I love it. And it's so difficult a lot of times to have conversations with big companies, right? Because at the end of the day, let's be realistic, right? All those big companies are about making money, right? And there's certain numbers that they have to hit. And so when things slow down, the slashing, begins. But I love that you guys have made a huge commitment to the education in the industry, because it's so important for us, right? It's one of the things that we believe is a foundational thing to be able to improve, the industry is that, hands-on education. So you guys come out, you guys kind of restructure. So how does it work with regards to training? So obviously, not all the states in the U.S. have pools, but what regions are there? And then who of you guys covers what region for the U.S. for training?
Well, I'll take that off. So
Uh-huh.
when I first was hired with Raypak, I had 13 states.
Uh-huh.
And about 3 weeks into this, during a reorg, they dedicated me to California. With all the changes in the laws and what's happening out there, they dedicated me to California, even though I still stuck with Arizona because that's where I reside.
Mhm.
So I cover all of California, northern to southern, and then all of Arizona, and now I'm picking up part of Las Vegas. Those are 3 predominant markets. They're all hot, they're all warm, gas heaters, heat pumps, electrification, it's all coming. So I tow a trailer. We take the trailer into those local markets. We can do mobile training. I can wheel out units. We can do hands-on training right out of those units. So we actually take what we do in the Raypak ILC, the Innovation Learning Center, and we take that into these markets and can do hands-on. So we can show up at a place of business that has 14 technicians that wants to learn about this. So rather than them having to go to a hotel or a Superior or a distribution center, a Heritage, we can roll right into their property and train right out of that trailer.
And how do you guys pick who you go train?
So we rely on our sales team.
Mm-hmm.
Our sales team is out there. They're the ones that are in touch with that market. So whereas the sales team knows the bigger customers and they know their clientele and who's purchasing and who's doing what, we're more in tune with the warranty centers. So the warranty centers need training as well. It's not like we just hire somebody and say, hey, you know how to work on a heater? Here you go. You're a Raypak Pro. So we do get out. That is part of our initiatives this year, is to get with the warranty stations and get them the highest level training we can.
I'm going to put them on the spot for just a second.
Uh-oh.
So what if I own a company with 5-7 employees and I want to get Raypak training? Could I set that up with you guys, and will you guys come out and do the training for us?
In a heartbeat. Timing has to be right. We have a certain training, season that we work in right now with all the trade shows and everything else. As we come into the summer months, everybody says you can't train in the summer. Anybody that wants training, all they have to do is reach out to one of my sales reps or me personally. I will make that a priority.
Yeah, you can even request a tour on raypak.com and go to the Elevation Tour page, and there's actually a page dedicated to that. So you guys can always request there.
So what is that page again?
It's raypak.com, and it's the Elevation Tour van page. And there's a form there that says request a tour. And so you can go ahead and fill that out, and that shoots out straight to our sales team, and they put them in the books and they reach out.
And what do you guys charge for that?
Nothing. It is a free service that we provide. So the Elevation van will come out. It's equipped with all of our products on it. And then we bring the training trailer out alongside of that to be able to do the hands-on.
What do you think about that, Zach?
You want to drive to Houston?
I'm going to Houston next week, I believe.
Yes, you are.
And from there I go to
Brad's supposed to be there from the flyer, right?
Then I go from there to
That was
Lafayette.
just a photograph. I won't be in Houston. Because a surprise you came. I was like, "Oh, you're going to be in Houston, right?" I don't think I am.
I think Heidi is.
Edie's going to be there, though.
Edie will be.
I want to come back to that, Zach, because I think that's huge, right? These guys will come out and train your company for free.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely huge, because one of the things that I find, we're getting to the point where I think in our company, there's about 13 of us total, and it's getting harder and harder to get everyone access to training because they've got a full schedule each day. And a lot of this stuff it's an hour away, 2 hours away, and it's great training opportunity, but I would have to sacrifice a whole day for them to leave. Therefore, the work wouldn't get done. We'd have to shift that. So it becomes a real tricky thing to kind of balance that out to get everyone these training opportunities. So to be able to structure something where it's like, hey, we're going to give some time, Raypak's willing to come down and give some time. I think that's a really big deal.
Well, and it's like just you said. So first of all, you kind of go do a lot of these trainings, whether it's at a convention or a boot camp or any of that kind of stuff. There's cost to put all those events together, right? So what happens is you have to charge people to kind of come to those boot camps and stuff like that because there's expenses that are done. You have 5 guys that you want to send out there. If you look at travel, if you look at, maybe they're in the local market and they can drive, but you still have to pay whatever it is that you pay at a show, whether it's $150, $200 per person. And these guys are going out for free. They're coming to you. I'll tell you this: anybody that's listening that is wanting to get heater training and you're not taking advantage of this, like you really need to sit down and take a look at what it is that you're doing, because this is an absolute no-brainer. And it's all the hands-on stuff that you guys do.
Yeah, truly. I mean, it truly is our commitment to training, and elevating the industry. So I think this year, so many initiatives. I mean, we're constantly doing the tabletop events and going out with these elevation tour vans. So people truly take advantage.
Take advantage. Absolutely. So Raypak is investing in training infrastructure which reinforces the commitment to the pool industry. By the way, they're saying that the Ford Rangers are badass out there. So, TJ, did you take a PTO to be on the podcast today is what they're asking. I don't know.
Anything to be here with you in.
I don't know why they're picking on you, but they're kind of picking on you today, TJ.
Are they?
Yeah.
Bring it.
Biscayne Pool, listening while driving to my next pool. Big shout out to you out there. The plumbing in the hot room is pretty intense. That's from somebody that's been out. They've been out there. So, no, Mike, that was Michael.
We've got a cooling tower up on the roof, and then there's a pump that runs water all the way around the room. What is that? About 5-inch pipe, 4-inch copper pipe. Pipes come down, pipes coming back up, and there's a bypass already in it because we're firing up commercial products there as well that need a bypass. Mm-hmm. So we can arrange that stuff. Gas lines coming down, we can tie all that stuff up. It's pretty cool outfit.
Yeah. I want to ask you guys one question, and then we're going to take a break. I'm going to put you guys on the spot. So you guys have all pretty much been pool pros. So you have somebody that is new into the industry, right? And they want to better their business. They want to grow. What advice would you have for them? Dave, I love it. Dave was like, I got it. It's all you.
I think if these people coming into the industry, if they were to get involved in education, they would ultimately make more money and save their customers money. So instead of throwing parts at something, just taking guesses of what's wrong, they followed a protocol of how to diagnose a problem and solve the problem. They would be on their way, money in their pocket, customer saves some money, they go on to the next job. Because you start throwing parts at a heater, like a gas valve, that's not the problem. Now what do? Can you charge the customer for that? You shouldn't. But that's how it works for a lot of times. People start throwing parts at something. I had one the other day. The guy put a board on, a gas valve. It was a temp sensor. It's $500.
To build on Dave's point, you're also looking at before the problem begins. So having this kind of training that we're providing helps you out from the moment that you bring the unit out to the job site, properly installing it from a safety standpoint and from the unit working successfully. Because if something goes wrong with the unit and they discover it's because of the way you installed it, now it's which way do you go? Now that second unit comes out of your pocket, or that repair comes out of your pocket. So preparing you that it keeps the bad taste out of the customer's mouth as far as you goes, and it also helps you out as far as the standpoint of keeping the unit working successfully for you.
Yeah, it diminishes your reputation.
Well, and the perception out there is that all manufacturers want to use water chemistry. Is that reason why heaters are failing? We're not all just, every manufacturer didn't get together in a conference room and say, hey, we're going to use water chemistry. Water chemistry and ventilation and combustion air are the number 1 and 2 causes of a heater not living a full life. So whether it's a Raypak heater or any other heaters that are out there, the education is not just going on a Raypak. The hands-on will definitely get you there. Will get you comfortable with our product. But knowing the NFGC, National Fuel Gas Code, combustion, ventilation, all of that helps you on anybody's heater.
If I had to advise, I just got a truck and now I'm going to get in the industry. And most people get in the industry because they know somebody. Get yourself a community. Find yourself a group of people that you can ask questions to. Because, look, I mean, if you're at a specific product, I don't know how to program this pump. I don't understand this thing. I'm going to call, the manufacturer of the pump. All the manufacturers, look, we all, I'll speak for all the manufacturers now, okay? I'm sure they did not tell me I could do that. But I now speak for all.
He's running with scissors.
Nobody wants to keep you on hold. when you call the manufacturer, they're not thinking, oh, well, we got 30 calls waiting. I'm going to lunch. Nobody wants that. They want to get to you. But a lot of people are calling, and they're taking you as quick as you can, and they're trying to get to you. But there's going to be some wait time. And so then you find yourself, I'm sitting here on my phone looking at this thing that I can't fix. What if you knew somebody? Oh, I'm going to call Bob. Bob was like, oh, what kind of pump is it? Oh, it's this thing. Oh, yeah. To hold the button down. You can't just push it. You got to hold it down for like 3 seconds. Oh, there it is. And it could be something that simple. And all you needed was a buddy. Okay. I mean, first of all, try to get yourself a mentor right up front. If you can get somebody who can really show you the ropes, and you got a go-to guy. And I was fortunate to have a few people like that. But other than that, it doesn't hurt to have a couple of friends, and then and what you're going to find is it's going to be the guys at the distributor. When you're at the counter, you're getting your juice, you're getting getting some parts or whatever. You see the same guys all the time. You see the same guys, and you learn who they are, and then you can ask them things like, "Hey, man, have you ever put in one of these?" "Oh yeah, they got a problem with this thing," and this is how news travels through the industry, and then you get now you've got the inside track. Now you start to hear these things. And when a customer says, should I get this? And you can go, I don't know. You should probably try one of these instead. You increase your knowledge. You have somebody to go to help you get over the hump on the little things you maybe can't figure out. And those things add up over the years. You start to remember, oh yeah, I remember this is the guy that taught me that. And I haven't had any trouble since. I still run into people that, I ran into a guy from another company who had been my rep back in the day at the Western show. And I was glad to see the guy because he always did well by me. But these are the things you remember. These are the people that teach you the things you need to know as you move on.
I love that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a really big deal. And I think I'm excited to see, and this could just be my locality and my little bubble that I live in, but there's a lot more networking and information sharing and camaraderie and helping each other. Like, I have all these people in my area, and they all have businesses, and they're out there working, and they're trying to get the next customer and provide for their family. But at the end of the day, like, I consider them friends, not competitors. And I don't know how many times I've talked to people and they're like, oh man, I don't really know how to do this. And like my partner, Justin, who does all the repairs, will go out and meet them and show them. And we're not billing them. And it's a little bit of a sacrifice at time, but it helps just build that community. And then down the line, they may reciprocate in some way, or they're elevating, which elevates our market, which elevates us. So I'm all about the community aspect of it.
It also throw you some business.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that happens. Hey, I got to go. I don't go over to that side of the valley, but I know a guy, and he calls you. I've gotten how many repair jobs I got from just other pool guys that I don't really have time for this, man. You want to go do this? Do I want to sell a customer a heater? Yeah, I do. Oh, and he happens to live, 4 blocks from me. Sure, let's do that.
Yeah. No, I absolutely.
Or if I lose that bid, at least I know the gentleman that got the bid was a higher quality than a lot of the others that are out.
Yeah, you know who you lost the bid to.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's take our final word from our sponsors. When we come back, I want to talk about one of your products really quick. We'll be right back.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double-locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC. The next evolution in lighting is here. Universal Color Logic 2.0 from Hayward. The latest in pool and spa lighting was designed with you in mind, making installation a breeze. Upgrades include a detachable cord and first-of-a-kind adjustable lower catch to overcome variations in plaster thickness. As always, Universal Color Logic lights retrofit into virtually any in-ground pool or spa while delivering industry-leading, vibrant color. Visit Hayward.com to discover more.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. You guys should have seen how this studio was. Like, there's like all this geek conversation going on over here with,
Explosives.
Yeah,
what's that?
We're talking about explosives.
We're talking about
Blowing stuff up.
And the safety issue, and let that be a lesson to you kids. There's, we're just talking about how, there's some dangerous stuff in this industry. You should probably have a grip on, what doesn't mix with what.
And get some training.
Get some training. Now, Zach, can you imagine the people that were listening to our conversation last night at dinner? I'd love to see either my wife or my kids being anywhere near that conversation that was going on last night at dinner.
Well, we did have an individual at dinner who was kind of nodding off because, you got some elder statesmen of the industry over here. And so we're talking about parts and products that haven't been made in 30 years. That, long obsolete. Hey, remember that old one of those? Hey, remember how this used to do that? X-Shy is just staring at who are these old dudes? How do I get out of here? Oh, I think my phone is ringing. I got to take this. We're very sorry for that. Very sorry. It entertained us tremendously, but X-Shy was...
You were just showing off.
Drool running down her chin.
And here's the funny thing, TJ, is I love going down into history, right? I remember sitting down with like my grandfather and his friends, and they would tell like all these cool stories from way back then, right? So I've always loved that at everything that I do. And just sitting last night talking about products that I had no clue. And you guys were describing them, the filter that was horizontal, and then you had to
spin filter.
Spin.
Some of you people know what I'm talking about. We were talking about spin filters. That's how far back we went.
Unfortunately, we do.
Yeah.
And I was in complete heaven with that conversation, but I could tell anybody that like I could see Akshaya being like one of my kids, and they're like, oh my God, what are these old people talking about?
Why are they talking about archaeology?
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't exist anymore.
So
you have to dig that up.
It was neat. It was really neat, kind of going down that old road.
What was the story about Brad getting inside of a filter and
realizing
he's going to die?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, 72 square foot SMBW, the old Purex filter. And the filter's almost as tall as I am, because for those of you that don't know, I'm a diminutive man. And,
you're a giant in the industry.
But a huge heart. A huge heart.
I've got a big heart.
Dave, that was awesome.
I got it in my I got it in my
saving
head.
that one since yesterday.
Good. Way to save them up. Good news.
We love you, Brad.
I almost got myself stuck in a filter. It's this big, tall tank, and I got it in my head that I could reach that manifold to pick it up and pull it out. And I suddenly realized I was about to tip past the balancing point where I would have just fallen headfirst into this thing with no way to get out. And in my head, I'm going, there's nobody home. I can yell all day. The neighbors are never going to hear me. And did I pull the tripper switches off that timer? So then the pump turns on, fills that thing up. And hey, did you hear about Brad? Yeah. Well, they found him a couple days later. The customer couldn't figure out why their pool was cold.
You'd be that silhouette they have on buckets now, the kid falling.
That's what happened. That's what that silhouette on the kid in the bucket. That's what happened. I am that guy. Okay, now my secret is out. I'm the kid on the side of the bucket that you see on the tab bucket.
I haven't seen Brad in 10 years. Do you know where he's at? Yeah, he's on every bucket.
He's on every bucket. Every 5-gallon bucket. If you look closely, the little kid's got a little beard.
That's you?
Yeah, it's me.
He's leaving a legacy.
You know what we should do is challenge for everybody. When you go back, grab one of those buckets, write with the Sharpie Brad, and send a picture to me, and we'll post them on social media.
I'm down.
Label it Petey.
I'm up with that.
So, hey guys, I wanted to talk really quick. So, I think it's something that we don't talk a lot about, and we need to do a separate podcast on it. But obviously, California you have, and Ken, you kind of cover part of California with regards to, eliminating gas, right? And it's kind of starting everything going electrical everywhere. And it's, talk about electrical cars, you talk about houses being built and they all have to be electric and all that kind of stuff. And so in our industry, I think the heat pumps have been around for a little while, but for some reason, there's not a lot of focus on heat pumps. There's not a lot of probably education on heat pumps. And it's another one of those things that we look at it and we go, man, we're afraid of the heater, right? And it's the exact same thing for that, for those heat pumps. And you guys came out with a new crosswind. Can you talk a little bit, about the crosswind and how that works in a pool environment differently than a regular gas heater?
Well, first of all, if you're using a heat pump pool heater, you're not burning fuel to create heat.
Mm-hmm.
We're pulling the heat out of the air. We're using 100-year-old technology to pull the heat out of the air, extract it, put it in the water, and then eject the cold air. That's how heat pumps work. That's the thumbnail version. So now you don't have a gas line. You don't have to worry about a gas line. You're not burning anything. You do use electricity and use more of it, but the efficiency is far higher. So you're getting more of your money in the water in the form of heat. So they're very efficient and very, very, good thing to have in that way. But the crosswind that you mentioned is a side discharge. So if you think of a heat pump, if you've seen the air conditioner unit for your home, and it's this big gray box, and there's a giant fan pushing air up. That's all you can tell about it from the outside. Well, it turns out standard heat pump is very much like that, works very much the same way. You may have seen some heat pumps that are turned sideways so that the fan actually blows out instead of up. And there are various reasons for this, but one of them would be that you don't have to worry about maybe putting it under a deck or something like that, or something where there's a surface above it, so that you don't want that to stop the airflow, so it'll blow sideways. So the crosswind is a smaller version of our heat pump, and it is a side discharge device.
Now that's because you have a crosswind vertical.
That's right,
V.
crosswind V.
The V.
Yes.
Okay. And is that crosswind the standard heat pumps that we see out there?
That is closer to what the industry standard is. It's bigger, like air conditioner unit size device, although considerably smaller than the previous version, our classic series that we've recently discontinued in favor of the Crosswind V. So it's a little smaller, considerably lighter. I think we dropped about 50 pounds off that thing.
Across the board, its average is about 50 pounds. Actually, on the largest unit, the 8-horse, it's almost 100 pounds lighter than the previous unit. And what's also fantastic is that it gives you a lot more space on the pad itself. So the footprint on every last unit is exactly the same. So you don't have to make different plans as far as whether you're pouring a pad or buying a pad. And what's neat about that, especially for the folks that are in more inclement areas to where they have to worry about strapping the unit down, is that there's more room now on the pad for you to actually tack on them down. Whereas before we were taking up the entire pad and you had to either do it to the side or it just wasn't possible. So that's some of the things that we've done. Another fantastic thing about the unit is there's a lot of voice of customer involved with the Crosswind. Some previous units that we've had before and other folks' units, it was very difficult when you took the panel off and were trying to get your hands inside in order to hook up the units. Now with this new Crosswind V, just by removing one panel, you have access to everything that you need for the installation process. And if for some reason you needed to get your hands in there to make a couple of repairs on a few of the sensors, you take down the second panel, and now you've basically have opened up the entire unit, and it will remind you very much of our Series 22, our atmospheric gas when it's standing there with its door open, or a Avia when you take the Avia off the top and you're able to get your hands inside there. So yeah, we're super excited about all the different things that the Crosswind V is bringing us. Plus, it gives us the Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's quite an upgrade from the previous model, and. There was, and when you talking about voice of customer, we had some feedback about the previous model. It was a great little, piece of machinery, but a few things that maybe some of the people didn't care for that sort of a corner positioning for the in and out header, and that kind of threw some people off. They were at different levels. We moved all that stuff to the front. Bang, it's right out front where you can get to it. Union's on it. Bing bang. Everything's right in the front. Everything's accessible.
We also brought over the Raymote too, the Raymote Wi-Fi app.
This is the first unit that has been built specifically for the pool business.
Yeah.
You stole the words out of my mouth. I actually wanted to ask about the Raymote. Can you kind of elaborate? So I know it's with the Avia, right? Is it also with the Crosswind?
V.
V.
Yes.
Perfect. And what can you kind of describe the app and what functionality and they'll get out of that?
The Raymote.
It's an app that we borrowed from our commercial industry. And what it does is as long as you have Wi-Fi washing over the unit, you have the capability of controlling it from anywhere in the world. It doesn't require the purchase of any app. You can actually download the app for free from your favorite app store. And it gives the homeowner the capability of doing is actually controlling the unit from afar. Tells them the temperature. They can place it to a different mode. Tells them if there's some sort of error. But where we take it even farther than that is the desktop application. You as a service company gives you the capability of grouping all of your Raymote equipment together. So these could be all the units on Bob Street or all the units at the Holiday Inn. So and then what I really like about it, the fact that if it does tell you, hey, the Smith's unit is not really working right now, it'll tell you what the error is. So let's say the unit's saying pressure switch. Well, now you're not just heading out there on a maybe. You can head out there knowing that, hey, I'm going to clean that filter, and also I'm going to head out there with a brand new pressure switch. That way, I can try to make this one shot, one kill. So it's a lot of fantastic aspects of it as far as how much flexibility it gives you, and also the practicality of being able to talk to the unit from afar.
Vacation rental friendly too. It's got the ability to lock out the controls so that tenants cannot touch that. And obviously then if the homeowner's got control over the app, they're able to cap out the maximum temperature and keep those tenants from playing with that.
That's huge for the vacation rental market. That was one of my biggest problems at the beginning is people would just crank up, or switch, and you coming
Check
back to
out.
it. Yeah, you coming back, and you got to pull at 104,
Yeah.
because they're messing with valves and they're doing all kinds of stuff.
Well,
So
the thing about heat pumps is they're at least 10 times more efficient than gas heaters.
I was going to ask that because you mentioned that. So how efficient are they?
They can be up to COP, coefficient of performance, is a multiplier. So if they're spending $1 in energy and it's a COP of 5, they're putting $5 worth of energy or heat into the water. So it's a multiplier. One thing I want to tell people though is, and look at me, heat pumps are always installed outdoors. Always.
Yeah.
So I want to jump in on that because I think we talked about a lot of like the confidence that technicians build through training and things like that. And heat pumps in our market have been kind of slow to kind of pick up. And, but we're seeing a lot more of them.
Oh, yeah.
And we're seeing changes in states where things are going this way. Is there training for the heat pump like there is for the heater?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, they've always been popular in Florida because, the thing about them is you need, they work. I'm not going to say you need, but they work better in a humid climate. That's not to say that they
80,
won't
80,
hurt
80.
in a hard, but in a more arid climate. But, we use what they call 80-80-80, which is 80-degree water temperature, 80-degree humidity, 80-degree air temperature, or as they call it in Florida, Tuesday.
Every
That's
day.
not a deal for them, but in other parts of the country. And so we've had people say, wrongly, like, "Oh no, they won't work in Texas. They won't work in."
And I say, does your air conditioner work? And they say, yes, a heat pump will work
I
just
guess
fine.
that heat pump is going to work because they're very similar. I mean, we sell these things in Toronto.
Very similar technology.
They must be doing okay, and they are far more efficient. They just take a little bit more knowledge. And look, I never had a heat pump on my route. I didn't know anything about them. So yeah, we'll train. Absolutely, we'll train on those. There's some things that you need to know and some things you need to get your head around. Because it's not like gas. We're not, with a gas heater, you're making a certain number of BTUs per hour no matter what. We're going to burn gas. We're going to get the same heat out of that thing every time. And so the amount of time it takes to get from this temperature to this temperature is going to be virtually the same if the water's the same. Those numbers can change, day to day, hour to hour, depending on the weather. And we have to get our head around that and figure out why that is and modify our expectations.
It is setting the expectations.
The biggest thing is, it's the biggest thing is the expectations. Is communicating with the homeowner. So finding out what they want to do. I mean, if you have a family that they don't make the decision that they want to go swimming until Friday in the evening, that's going to be a little bit more of a gas heater type of application. Or if by the time the water stops spinning, by the time the margarita stops spinning, they want to be in that body of water, then you're usually looking at gas. But if they're frightened of the gas bill, or if they're in a scenario to where they've got to swim every day, come hell or high water, because they're on a swim team, or if it's for health or what have you, then a heat pump might be the better bet. A gas heater is a little bit more like a Trans Am. Heat pump's a little bit more like a Honda. So everybody's going to get to 60 miles an hour. It's a question of how fast you're going to get there and how much money you're going to spend at the pump. So once you get to the bottom of what to actually talk to the customer, find out from the customer what their expectations are, then you can decide whether you're going to venture off as far as a Trans Am or a Honda. And then when it comes to the Honda, as far as the Cross 1V, the different things that we've elevated this unit now with the different aspects that we pulled back from our voice of customer conversations, we're super excited about that aspect.
I have to say that is the best analogy I've ever heard on that. So I'll probably be stealing that one.
I'm surprised you haven't already.
Which Honda?
Right.
Let's just say a Civic and go.
So I was more of a CRX man, but I'm with you.
Now, you also mentioned valve actuators. The Crosswind V has the ability to turn a pair of actuators. So if you have a pool spa combo, you do have that control, as well as some additional auxiliaries to turn some things on.
It'll also turn your actuator for your solar. It'll monitor your solar and decide when, oh, well, we need some more heat. Let's put some more water up there. It'll turn a valve actuator that will send the water up to the roof.
And it'll do that automatically. And you can
Yeah.
set it to
Correct.
recognize, and it'll.
Yeah. It can bring a gas heater on too if the temperature isn't getting up to temp.
If it's not
quick
coming
enough.
up fast enough, yeah.
Or run in combination.
That's the technology that we need, right? Like we really need to catch up. Our industry, when it comes to a lot of this technology, is still light years behind.
We want to try to put all this stuff together
Mhm.
at the same time. We use different devices, as opposed to trying to build one, Frankenstein that'll do everything. We use different devices, so you still get some heat out of the next device over if one of them fails.
Yeah. I love that which I didn't know it did the app. It'll tell you if there's obviously an error. I mean, come on, especially
Have you not
talking
been
about
listening to me?
Talking about the vacation rentals.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
I did hear your story about the filter. That one caught my.
Oh, that
my
one.
ear.
That one you heard.
When Brad is in dismay, those are the stories that stick.
Right.
And then I was nearly killed. Oh, that's a great story, Brad.
Love that story, Brad.
Great story.
That's because
Tell us how the horses were pulling you apart again. Tell us that part.
Because we just see Brad so perfect that we don't think that he would.
Oh, yeah,
and
that
that,
must-
that would ever be an issue, right? Right,
Okay,
TJ?
Let me get my wife in here next time. We'll see what she has to say about that. By the way, she's a professional psychologist, so she knows what's
Explains
wrong
a
up
lot.
there.
So, anyways, guys, believe it or not, we've been on here for about an hour and a half. We kind of are out of time. We kind of went to our word from our sponsor. So, Zach, I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball here. And, why don't you give us final thoughts over the last 2 days?
The last 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been fun hearing your guys' different stories, and then just learning about, like, the crosswinds was a completely new thing for me. And like I was talking about, in our market, it hasn't really picked up, but the things I've heard the last 2 days from when we were in studio and from here today, it's got kind of piqued my interest on, like, well, maybe we need to start thinking a little bit more about heat pump technology and how we can start bringing that to our customers. So, Dave, I'm definitely going to be talking to you about possibly getting some training, because I think you're our training rep down in Houston. So, but other than that, like outside of the last 2 days, I just want to say, like, I think you guys do an amazing job of, like, really trying to build that community through your training. And I think I've sat through all your trainings multiple times. Edgar, he's always off. We can't find him, but I think it's amazing how you're able to bring in, like you talked about, like gas code and things that translate across the board and educate pool professionals on that, because a lot of times it does become very product specific. So, I think anyone that has an opportunity to take a class, if it's in your area or if you these are events where our whole game is it's a safe space. There's no dumb question. And most of the people that are in there, they take to that same thing. So it's a great place to network, meet your trainers, meet your reps, meet your cohorts out there in the industry, and just network all together. So.
Absolutely. And I do want to thank you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing partners, but I do want not just you guys, but leadership at Raypak to know that everybody sees what you guys are doing. Everybody talks about the changes that you guys have made with regards to the focus on the education. You're a lot more present at a lot more events than we've ever seen you out there. The fact that you guys are doing the training the way that you're doing it now, right, which is different than what everybody else does out there, right? Even some of the other ones, right? We talk about it, but you guys have 6, 8 heaters in these rooms, right? You guys have a complete focus, and it's truly to what you were saying about wanting to get your customers to be successful, right? And to have the right tools to be able to do that. And I love the fact that you guys are all pool pros. So it's very different when we talk to somebody that comes from the outside that has no idea that they're not deep vein pool guys, right? But you guys are hardcore pool guys, and when you guys do those trainings, you guys completely get it, you understand, and you know how to train those people. So big huge thank you to you for Raypak leadership. Thank you, because a lot of companies don't do this, and what you guys are doing and the amount of money that you're spending and training all the pool pros out there, that's exactly what the industry needs. And what we need is for other companies to see the effort that you guys are doing and also buy in and also be able to do that so we can elevate the industry so that the single poler isn't looked at like that just kind of guy that's supposed to, come up here and sweep and stuff like that. And it speaks to us because it's our passion at Pool Nation to really do that. So we appreciate it. We appreciate all the friendship, all the banter. And we're looking forward to May 17th. And then we're looking forward to, which Brad doesn't know, we have 3 more trainings coming up for you, Brad, that you're going to be doing in boot camps and stuff like that. But we'll let you know. And then we look forward to seeing you guys out in Dallas, November 9th, 10th, and 11th. And then for the Pool Nation Awards, I heard that you have a new tuxedo.
No, well, not yet. I'm still
But
having, it's been custom made in Milan right now. And I got to go over there for a fitting, and then we're going to make sure that's taken care of. Yeah.
Is that Milan, Wisconsin?
It's Milan, Milan, West Virginia.
You shut that down real quick.
We're definite, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I am putting you on stage again. You can count on that, my friend.
I'm writing material.
Yeah, that's great.
I've got new material coming, and we'll see how that flies.
And actually, I'm not going to say that you haven't showed up to the other Pool Nation Awards, and I'm calling you out in public right here.
Man,
I expect you to be in Dallas.
I will be there.
All right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Everybody listening, hoping that you guys have a great weekend. Come and visit us Wednesday on our Instagram Live with our boy JJ. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or PoolNationPodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at Pool.Nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to PoolInvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. PoolmanUniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at PoolmanUniversity.com.